Make sure none of that goes into the proper one. What weight are you?
So I'd say super featherweight, but maybe featherweight. We'll see what I can get to. Yeah,
Awesome.
I did make featherweight in last year, October. I was meant to fight in Northampton, but my opponent shit his pants and pulled out on the day, so didn't get to fight. But I did make featherweight, so.
Okay, so you can do it then?
Yeah.
Right, I will ask that you keep the mic up, only so it picks up the sound, because it likes to pick up every other sound except for the voices. Yeah. So October Red Boxing, here with the lovely Connor Downs. Welcome, first time guest. I'm here with you at Acocks Green Boxing Gym in Birmingham. Let our viewers know a little bit about yourself and how you got into boxing and, of course, ended up here.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously Connor Downs, know me as Sino. So I started boxing when I was like 12. Sounds horrible, but I enjoy hurting people, and I suppose just putting it to good use. I had lots of things going on when I was younger, and that sort of all pushed me into it. And I spent the last couple of years training down in London. I was training with a very good technical coach, PT, and that, and was training with like the fails and stuff. So I was around good company, brought on my footwork and my technical ability a lot. I didn't really have much of an amateur career, so it was all sort of done in sparring, like good pros and that. Been around lots of good pros, sparred a lot of top boys, and like you ask any of them and they'll tell you how hard I punch. So obviously, look at my highlight reel as well. You'll see I bring the bang to the game. So hope you're going to show it out.
So we talk about the childhood then. You said you like to hurt people,
Yeah.
which is a good thing in boxing.
Yeah. I mean, it works for boxing, doesn't it?
It definitely does. But why boxing though? I get that you like to hurt people, but boxing isn't just about that, is it? So what is it that draws you to the sport, except for getting away with punching people in the face?
Yeah, so when I was about, obviously like I said, when I was about 12, my uncle took me kickboxing for about a month. And I really enjoyed it, but I'd never kick. I'd literally just punch pads on that. And they always used to say to me, like, "Oh, did you used to box?" And I'd be like, "Nah, I've never boxed." And they're like, "Oh, you should box, like, you got a really good punch." So I'm like, yeah, all right. Obviously, my uncle stopped taking me kickboxing. And then there was an older lad I knew who was like, "Oh, I'm going to walk to the boxing gym." It's about an hour and 10-minute walk from my house. And I was like, yeah, I'll come. Do you know what I mean? Jumped on it. So I was doing that like near enough every day, going to Far Cotton Boxing Club with John Daly. And I was so small when I was young. So like I had a bit of a little man syndrome. Like when I left school at 16, I was like 5'2", about 47 kilos. Like, so I never really got any fights in amateur and that. The fights I did get, I had a short amount of fights, but I'd fight a lot of top boys and that. Got robbed against a lot of them, but everyone always say how hard I hit and how exciting I am to watch. So it's always sort of been in my head that I was going to be a professional, and I'm making it happen.
We talk about making it happen, and obviously you've ended up here with Max McCracken.
Yeah.
You know, McCracken is a well-known name in boxing and especially in the city of Birmingham.
Yeah.
You're not even from Birmingham.
Nah.
You're from
Northampton. Come on.
You were travelling to London at first, and then obviously then you changed to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Somebody that's not afraid to go out of their comfort zone, leave their hometown to train.
Yeah.
Why choose Acocks Green Boxing Gym and Max McCracken as your trainer?
Well, yeah. I mean, I used to like stay on a couch down in London every week to get some good training and that, and then like I had an injury in my hand. I had to have an operation in Manchester with Mike Hayton because I ruptured my tendon in my last fight. So when that happened, a lot of complications, and I ended up calling Max up like, "Oh, do you want to have a look at me?" And I thought my hand was healed, so come up sparring, obviously doing the business. And at first, Max was like, "Yeah, like I'll give it a month, like see how you get on." And then that sort of got pushed aside. And was like, "Yeah, I'll coach you." Like, so obviously I was impressing him. Being around people like Paddy as well, do you know what I mean? Adding to my game, giving me lots of technical advice, bringing me on a lot, and just in the little times I was coming up, I could feel the improvements I was making, going back home, just working on them, and I feel really blessed to like be in a position where like as an amateur, I've done nothing, but I'm in a position where I've got someone like Max, who, like you say, is highly rated in boxing. Paddy Lynch himself, highly rated in boxing. They're around it. They want to be involved with me because they believe that I've got talent and I could do something. So their belief in me sort of drives me even more. Like, it makes me believe even more. So I already know what I can do. Like, I know I can hurt people, but they make me believe about my technical ability and my skills, what I can do as well.
Talk to me a little bit about that technical ability. Technical stuff is something that I really enjoy talking about in boxing. I'm not one of these that can reel off the weight categories or even the belts, the mandatories, the eliminations. But what I do really enjoy is the technical side of boxing. You said that they've really brought you on, both Paddy and Max. Talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah, so like I said, when I was training as an amateur, I had no footwork, didn't really have a career. I was a bit more of a sort of a slugger. I'd come in, sort of tuck my chin down, just windmill. And
hope for the best.
Yeah, it was more just that I was like very strong. That like I'm gonna hurt people, put everyone on the back foot and that. Whereas I was training in London, I sort of developed some footwork. They really brought me on with my footwork especially. And now Max is sort of just like finding me out. Do you know what I mean? Making me a bit more relaxed and like sort of a bit more rhythm and like a bit flowing. Like today now, like I'm. I suppose the blessing in disguise, I only got one hand at the minute, because I'm sparring one-handed all year, and now I'm popping about my jab, do you know what I mean, and getting the jab going, so it's all coming together.
If you was to describe your style to the viewers then, in a sentence, or maybe in a word, how would you describe your style of boxing?
That's a good one. Excitement or finesse.
Excitement with finesse.
Yeah.
We hear excitement so many times in boxing, I'm like, narrow it down, but you said finesse. So there's that style with it.
It used to be just excitement, like there was no finesse about it, but it's coming, and it's going to keep coming, and you're going to see it.
And what you said, that obviously you're being pushed on in your career, and forgive my ignorance, are you pro now, or are you still...
So I'm 4-0 at the minute. I had my first 2 fights just before lockdown, and this is obviously where I met Max. So I met Max when I was about 16, 17, just come down and spar with the Yafais, being world champion, top level pros, and I'd probably had like 10 fights as amateur, very small, do you know what I mean? At the start, I was probably a bit of a punch bag, but as it went on, I felt like there was times I was doing good, winning, do you know what I mean? Good things and that, and they really brought me on leaps and bounds, and then obviously now like got all the other people around me, so all bringing me together. I'm sorry, I've completely forgot what the question was.
No, it's fine. No, but it's interesting because you kind of like said about, you know, being brought down here and you've sparred with the Yafais.
Yeah.
There's a tweet I put out this morning, coincidentally, is about that level of sparring partners. Buy it cheap, buy it twice.
Yeah.
You know, you may have come in as the underdog, like you said, probably a punch bag to a certain extent.
Yeah.
However, you learnt from those guys because you're going up against world champions.
Yeah, I mean, I sparred lots of top level fighters, especially when I barely even had 20 fights as an amateur. So my everything I've sort of done, I've learned in the gym, and I've sparred a lot of top names. But each one of them, I'd go in, I'd learn, they'd always call me back, they'd always comment how strong I am, and then each time I'm getting better and better, and so it's sort of that's sort of what brought me on as a fighter. Like, rather than learning in the ring as an amateur, I learned in the ring sparring professionals.
So how important would you say sparring those professionals is to develop you as a fighter?
Yeah, I mean, for me...
I know it sounds like a stupid question, but I think the level of opponent that you have to spar with, whether it's technical or hard, you know, you talk to me your experiences.
I mean, you can learn really from anyone you're sparring. There'll be certain things like you'll notice, like, oh, that works, that don't work, or they're doing that well, and you copy things with generally anyone. But especially when you're them top level pros, they're the ones that are doing like them top levels. They're showing you what you should be doing, and being around that is going to bring you on.
So when can we expect to see you out again? And you know, I know it is.
That's the one.
It's always that I've got to ask, because there's people that, you know, will watch this and will think, actually, let's have a look at him. Let's see what he's about.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that then.
Yeah.
Nothing definite by
nothing at the minute. I'm signing with Max as my manager and my
Right,
trainer
okay.
later on this month.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And then, yeah, like I say, I've just I had my operation May 31st.
Right.
And
You're in recovery
just
mode.
started tapping with the right hand, so it's coming back, but it might be another month or so until like I can start punching properly again. Then obviously you're gonna need to train with it again, make sure it's okay. Then training camp. So I'm hoping I can get out at the end of the year, maybe like November or December. If not, like just going full steam for next year.
And choosing Max to be your, your manager and your trainer, what made you came to that decision? Because sometimes people, I'm asking this because sometimes people like to keep it separate.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, Max sort of called me up one day and just said like, he said to me like he wants me to sign with him as my manager as well, and he said like he wants to sign as my coach as well as my manager. So for me, it's like as being my coach, it's a no-brainer because like he's already one of the top coaches, and then the connections he has, it will open doors for me with him being my manager, and the fact that he wants to be both for me sort of shows that he believes in me. So yeah, it's all looking good at the minute.
I can second that because Max is somebody, and I can say this from first-hand experience, that he does look after the people around him quite genuinely as well.
Yeah.
He's not somebody that I would describe as greedy or selfish.
Yeah.
He actually does want to help people around him when he knows that they're hard workers. He is specific. He won't just take anyone on.
Yeah.
So it's a credit to you that he's actually said, you know what, let's work together.
Yeah, that's one thing everyone always says about how hard working I am. Like, so I mean, even at the minute, I've got no fight there or nothing. I could be sitting around doing nothing.
Stay ready.
I'm still in the gym every day, training 2-3 times a day, running every day. Do you know what I mean? Doing whatever I can to get better. I mean, obviously at the minute I'm enjoying a couple cakes and that, but it's got to be done.
Don't have too many. Don't have too many cakes.
I'll kill them.
You can when you retire.
Bad sweet tooth.
When you retire, but for now, stay off the cakes. Is there anything that you want to? Have you got any sponsors or anyone that you'd like to say a shout out to before we finish?
Big shout out to TPN Recruitment Solutions. They're my main sponsor. Like without them, like I would not be able to do what I'm doing. Big up Dave. And then a big shout out as well to Kerry Morrow. She's got the top houses in the NM4 district for sale. So anyone looking to get them houses, that's who you want to go to. Big up the Butcher's Block. Supply me and all the other top level fighters in Northampton with the best meat about to keep us all eating right. You know what I mean? You got to be eating right if you're a thing. You can't be eating them cakes all the time. As well, what's it?
It's always a tricky one. This one is. You got to remember everyone.
There was all in my head in the list, and I'm trying to remember it now. Crystal Roofing as well. Sorting out all the roofs, whatever you need. Use your man.
We like that. And your fellow Northampton fighter then, Kieran Conway.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight? That's going to be a really tough one for him.
That's a life-changing opportunity. Like that's that is literally what we're all out here trying to do. Do you know what I mean? He's a big inspiration, especially for like anyone coming from the small hall shows, because he's shown that you can start on a small hall show, like even take a loss and still get to them top arenas, them top cards on the fights that you want to be on, like life-changing fights. Dream cards, as you say, fighting under Canelo card, is it? Do you know what I mean? Again, so yeah, he's doing bits for Northampton, let alone the kids that have a dream, that want to be on the same position as him, showing it can be done. So yeah, got big up to him.
And you've also got Chantal Cameron as well.
Oh yeah, Chantal, that's my girl, man. she's wicked. I used to do a lot of sparring with her when I was younger. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I used to do a lot of sparring with her when I was younger, but no, she's doing it for girl boxing, you know, because I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, I'm not too interested in it, but like Chantel's sort of she makes it exciting, do you know what I mean? So she's just sort of bringing that excitement into it. Being from Northampton as well, again, she's like, it's just big up Northampton, isn't it?
We like it. Northampton is officially on the map.
It's booming.
But at the moment, Northampton's in Birmingham, so we've got to shout out Birmingham as well.
And then massive, come on.
Absolutely. Listen, your social media then, so we can follow you, and obviously I can tag you in the clip that I'll put out. What's your social media?
It's at Ceno, CENO, and then __.
It's all right, I'm just typing it in the phone. as we speak, so I can make sure I've got
Yeah.
you.
Big Daddy Sino, aka Sino Don Dada, aka just Sino, whichever one.
Sino Dunda, I like that one. Listen, an absolute pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you very much.
All the best on your recovery.
Thank you.
First time guest, but not going to be the last time.
My first ever interview as well. So.
Get used to it. Get used to it. October Red Boxing with lovely Connor. Thank you
very
so much.
Cheers.
That was brilliant.
Oh.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.